not gonna lie, guys, I was enjoying international break because Manchester United wasn't playing, and then reality returned today. Manchester United 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Manchester United yet to win back-to-back games in the Premier League this season, and we are now in April. So that kind of says a lot. Manchester United spending over £100 million on two centre forwards and then having to play Harry Maguire up top in the last 5 to 10 minutes just to try and get a point at the City ground. We got a lot to talk about, so be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well. If you are new here, let me know your thoughts down below, what you guys thought of the game. Let's actually start with what came back to haunt Manchester United today, which is Anthony Elanga. I think it kind of sums up Anthony Elanga's current form, or just his time since he's left Manchester United. The fact that he was able to listen to this guy's 85 meters in about 9ish seconds with the ball at his feet, carrying the ball, flinging Garnacho to the floor and getting a shot off to put Nottingham Forest up, and obviously the only goal that they were able to get. But it's not just that. Multiple times throughout the game, I think Nottingham Forest's game plan was to just put him in behind. And, you know, he's going to turn on the accelerator. He's got a huge burst of pace. He's quick. He's rapid. We already know that. He will get in behind. And Lenny Yoro making a last-ditch tackle in the last 10 or so minutes kind of sums up Elanga's kind of game against Manchester United. Once he gets in behind with that pace, it's just really the goalkeeper between him and the back of the net. In comparison to what Man United had on the other side, I don't know how Alejandro Garnacho survived 90 minutes. Genuinely speaking, I do not know how he survived 90 minutes. I think it was after his fourth greedy moment, his fourth shot that was that ended up being blocked, I think, is when I said, okay, this guy needs to come off. I was shocked to see Xerxes come off ahead of him. Even Xerxes not really managing to find his feet consistently throughout the game compared to what we were able to see maybe leading up to the international break. Now, this is why I always say watching the game and going off of the eye test is so important, because if you look at the stats, you know, Garnacho created some big chances. He had 6 shots on goal, 5 chances created, but really he had 3 blocked shots. He was dispossessed 3 times, and listen to this, guys, this is the shocking stat: 4 out of 13 ground duels won. Dispossessed multiple times, gave the ball away multiple times, even in Man United's own third. Do you know how dangerous that is? That is, for me, man, when I watch Garnacho, guys, I think he's a decent player. I think he's an okay player, but I don't think he is this superstar that maybe he thinks that he is, and maybe other people might think that he's destined to be. Simultaneously, I was watching Real Madrid, and that game's still on right now, and I watched Endrick dink the keeper to equalise for Real Madrid. A great decision, composure, and I just wondered, what would Garnacho have done in that moment? Because I've seen a lot of chances this season that Garnacho has not succeeded 1v1 against a goalkeeper. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I don't want to hear this thing about age all the time. If you are good enough, you are old enough. It's as simple as that. And maybe some criticism might land at the feet of Manchester United as an organisation in the fact that, you know, they've allowed him to play so much, you know, over 100 appearances for the club so far. They've allowed him to be this integral part of the team, when I don't think he or a number of other players in the team are really that great in terms of individual quality. Today, coming into the game, I knew what to expect from Nottingham Forest. I've watched them a lot this season, and they are a very well put together team tactically. You see Nuno willing to change the game after Elanga comes off injured, and shift into a back three because they're 1-0 up. Nottingham Forest tend to have not much possession, but the reason why they're able to do that is because of how compact that they can defend and how well that they can defend. And Murillo's last second clearance off the line just kind of sums up Nottingham Forest. I saw them do it against Liverpool as well. You know, Manchester United today had over 20 shots on goal, but none of them really challenged the goalkeeper. Another quality player that they have is their goalkeeper Sells, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. Nottingham Forest are happy to allow the opponent to have the ball and, you know, do everything they can to defend, because they can do it quite well. And Manchester United are very toothless in front of goal. They're very toothless in the final third. Outside of Bruno Fernandes, who in the first half, I don't think he was in his best form. But as the game grew in the second half, and especially when he went into that deeper role, I call it the quarterback role, because he's able to just ping those balls left and right. I feel like he was a lot more comfortable. But when Nottingham Forest are allowing Man United to have so much possession, or allowing them to dominate possession, that's not a compliment. I think, if anything, that is quite disrespectful, because they're not anticipating you to be a threat, because they're happy to let you have the ball. They trust in themselves to be compact defensively, to defend, in a robust back three, have their midfield in the middle. And just quickly on the midfield as well, Casemiro and Ugarte, that imbalance does not help. It didn't help Manchester United in the first half. Manchester United didn't have any players who are naturally good on the ball, especially because I realised Amorim was playing Casemiro as the deeper midfielder out of the two. And Ugarte, he just likes to run around and bulldoze into players. And in terms of what he offers, it works sometimes. But when you've got Anderson, when you've got Yates that are able to string together passes, you got Gibbs White dropping into that midfield to create a free. They're able to string together passes. You can't just have what I like to call shin kickers. You can't just have people that are just running into players trying to get the ball off them. Equally with saying that, on the flip side, when you've got possession in the midfield, you need players that are composed, you need players that are technical, you need players that are good on the ball. And that's why I was intrigued to see Joshua Zirkzee starting up top, given the fact that we've seen him playing in the 10 role over the last couple of games leading up to the international break. But even Patrick Dogu, for me, he just, on the ball, he just looked uncomfortable today. So uncomfortable, making rookie mistakes. And he's still growing and he's still learning, and with time and with more game time and more opportunities to play in this system, he will of course hopefully just get more comfortable. But it was quite underwhelming to watch today, given that some games Patrick Dogu was actually Manchester United's biggest threat. But I can't really I'm really trying to not dwell on it too much, given the fact that I know what I expected coming into this game. I saw people saying Man United gonna beat Nottingham Forest, gonna batter them, gonna smash them, etc. And I just thought, give the opponent some respect, because there's a reason why Nottingham Forest are third, and there's a reason why Manchester United are sitting in the bottom half of the table. There's a reason why Nottingham Forest is still in the FA Cup, and there's a reason why Manchester United got knocked out. On paper, you might look at some of the players and think, ooh, Awioni, Nico Williams, these are not game changers, but these are players that fit a system, that fit a tactical solution that the manager has, that can adjust in game. And look at the back line, look at their centre back pairing. Murillo and Milinkovic, two quality centre backs this season in the Premier League. Murillo especially as well, like I said, that clearance off the line, but not just that, his ability to break away when they have the ball in their own third and drive the ball forward is something that Manchester United were lacking from their back three. So the spacing between Man United's back three and their midfield, and then the space in between their front line, was so huge that it kind of allowed Nottingham Forest to just be comfortable when they had possession. I mean, they didn't have a lot of it, but equally with saying that, it's not always about who dominates possession. Like I said, Nottingham Forest are happy to allow the opponent to have possession. They actually have the lowest average possession in the league. They're happy to let you have it because they trust in themselves, what they are able to do defending so robustly. And we saw it today. Manchester United lack individual quality in these kind of moments, especially like a low block or a team like Nottingham Forest that are happy to sit back and sit off of you. Manchester United do not have the technical level and the individual level in their front line at all to break down a team like Nottingham Forest. And like I said, it's very unfortunate, because just considering Zirkzee and Hoyland, Man United spent over 100 million on them. And Ruben Amorim had to result in playing Harry Maguire up front, and he probably had the best chance of the game. He actually was more threatening in probably 10 minutes in the air in comparison to what Zirkzee and Hoyland was offering. But that, it just shows you the situation that Manchester United is in, and the quality and the level of quality in the players that they have. I saw, a lot of people talking during the game saying that, United could snatch a draw, or, Man United should be able to get past this hiccup of conceding the first goal. But Man United have conceded the first goal in 18 out of 30 Premier League games. Only, I think, 3 other teams have conceded more, and those are relegation teams. Like, I don't think people are deep in how dire Man United's situation is this season. The positive thing in this is that there's nothing to gain for Manchester United in the Premier League games that are remaining in the season right now. Man United's Premier League season was over a long time ago, but keep in mind, guys, just on this game, Nottingham Forest just came off the back of 120 minutes played on the weekend. Manchester United, majority of their players were well rested. When I look at the physicality in the game, when I look at, you know, the ability to cover a lot of ground, when I look at, you know, the ability to go for second balls and, you know, try and press and trigger, you know, hit to target a player as a press trigger. Which team do you think played 120 minutes on the weekend? Because it doesn't look like it was Nottingham Forest. And that's the thing, well-oiled team. I give Nottingham Forest their credit throughout the season. I've watched them quite a bit, and I kind of knew what to anticipate coming into this game. But one thing that I didn't anticipate, that Man United would come out of the international break looking so lethargic. Look, the only positive I can kind of say is that passing the ball, Man United look like they know where their teammates are. And that comes from practice, that comes from rehearsal, that comes from training. With saying that, I think Lenny Yoro had a good game, especially given the fact that he switched sides. I feel like Mazraoui looked very uncomfortable in the left-sided back three. And when they switched, I think Lenny Yoro still looked very comfortable despite switching over from the right side. So that is some positives. That is really some positives. But I feel like I'm clutching at straws, trying to find the positives. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now we got Manchester City in the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. Next week, Lyon in Europa League. So the games are coming thick and fast, and there's still the run of games United have coming up. Yeah, it's spooky. It's spooky, man. Let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well if you're new here.